How's it going, everyone? Sol Tigress here with a introduction video for Sol Tigress. What is it that Sol Tigress is bringing to the table? What is the finer messages that are being tuned in? What is the goal for Sol Tigress that she is building? These are things that I would like to relay. I feel that this is important. One thing is this particular channel, I feel, channels messages for self-growth. And this is going to be self-growth in self-care, self-love, self-recognition. And what I want to do with a recent oracle deck that I have picked up, Talisman Oracle, I hope I'm saying that properly. I didn't even mean to run across this at all. I was just in a small town at a local pharmacy. And I was getting ready to check out, and boom, they were there. I actually looked past them and was looking at everything else, but there was a subconscious draw to them. I even tried to walk away a few times, and it just didn't work. So just like with this video, I was guided. I was guided to this deck. So since there was such a heavy guidance to this deck, I want to use this deck and unbox it on a video and use it to do this introduction and see what wants to be guided to come out as far as what would like to be heard, said, or needs to be received for anybody that is visiting my channel. One thing that I believe in is absolute truth. It's raw at times, it hurts, but the truth shall set you free. And sometimes it's remembering to slow down to take our time to process the truth. And the artwork to this is this busy little bee is so busy, but you can't forget that they do slow down to basically touch every flower that they can pollinate. You can go fast and get your job done, but you can do it in such a way that you can enjoy life. So that's a message that I'm getting already from this that's coming out. So what else I want to do in this video is show you how I set up for each reading. Now, I'm not unboxing a new deck every time that a cycle of readings comes out. So with this is going to be a little special. I'm charging the deck and will be charging it as I shuffle. All right. So I do have a layout. As you can see, there are two stones here. One is shape of a heart and one is a quartz of amethyst. Now I'm assuming this is an agate, I want to say, because it was given to me. It's so awesome, right? And then what you don't see over here is some selenite. So I do respect sacred geometry. I also respect the formulas that we have discovered with fractals. And this deck is going to represent that side of Sol Tigress. All right. So now Sol Tigress, S-O-L. I love that it sounds like soul, but also S-O-L in Spanish means sun. And I do heavily reside with tiger energy. I was born the year of the tiger, on the cusp of the rabbit. It's so neat because it literally looks like a little book. Ah! I love books too. Books are awesome. So now that it's kind of out, let's look at that a little bit better. Wow. I feel like a lot of what bee energy is just owning it. Owning your purpose. Owning your purpose. Owning your community, I would say. And it could also be a community within self. Because we are of emotions. We are of soul. We are of the vessel, which is the body, for me. We are of energetic. So there's a lot of us that works together. All right. So on the fly, does it open? Ah, it opens like a book. Ah! All right, so look at this. Ready? Woo! Oh. Well, hot damn. They all flew out. But yes, this is what it is stored in. I love that it makes a little. All right, so they kind of just spilled out right away. Oh, wow. It's an envelope. I love stuff like this. Just little intricate stuff. Think of like the little fine things in life that make you slow down. Ooh, what is this? Maybe for taking notes. Maybe for taking notes. They come in an envelope. It does say that you can manifest your desires. So the back of it is, talismans are potential tools that strengthen the power of intention by guiding our thoughts and amplifying our energy. Talisman Oracle can be used in two ways: as an oracle deck with empowering messages, and as hands-on kit to craft your own talisman for manifesting desires outcomes in your life. You, the reader, are the true magic that makes the talisman work, or talisman's oracle work. Excuse my English and pronunciation. This enchanting set includes 44 black gilded edge cards adorned with magical sigils and sacred geometry. A pack of 44 sheets of vellum trace paper and an illustrated 112-page guidebook. What? And it's by Nora Paskaleva? Ooh, there was lots of thought. Lots of thought put behind this. Wow. The paper is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I've never felt paper of that texture before. Am I a big artist? No, but do I like to doodle? Yep, somewhat. Have I made big investments? No. Ooh. All right, let's see how I do this. I want to do it to the point where I can just rip it open, opposed to bringing in the scissors. Maybe I can cut that part. Let's see. Ooh, Scissors were required. You know what I've always liked was the people who could cut tape using their teeth. I always thought that was the neatest. I never could do that. Holy moly. All right, so we have jellyfish, balanced emotions. Balanced emotions. Let's see if I can get that shown better there. Look at that artwork. I'm definitely going to be working on my lighting as everything goes. Oh, wow. Whew. That's beautiful. Courage. So a lot of Sol Tigress represents courage. Courage in going into a direction that I don't want to say is what feels right, but it's the direction of aligning with purpose. Ancestors, my ancestor spirit guides, I ask you to be present. Please be present in this introduction. Please be present for this introduction. Angels of protection, please check my frequency. If you find that any ill tensions are coming into my frequency, please return to sender. Please return to sender. ×3. Just ×3 today. I feel like being nice. Let's see. So these cards are a little bit different texture, hence the gilded. So it's a little bit of a stiffer texture. Look at what we have out still. Courage. Courage. All right. Universal and divine energy. I ask you to be a part of this introduction for Sol Tigress. Please be a part of this introduction for Sol Tigress. What is it that should come out in this introduction? All right. Excuse the noise. New decks are a little bit harder to shuffle at times. Not as quiet, depending on the deck and what it's made of. And this deck is pretty slick. It's definitely a different material. The edging, the gilded edging is nice, but I'm going to have to get used to shuffling that. Or maybe with time, my own oils will kind of soften that edging. Or again, I'm going to get used to it. All right, so I liked how courage came out a few times. Courage is a really big thing. And having courage to overcome fear can be very hard to muster. When I explain to some people that I am starting a tarot channel based on storytelling and that I'm solely following intuition, it can be very intimidating. I've had people ask me, how do you follow your intuition? What is your intuition? So the intuition, okay, like how this came out, is a union with yourself. A union with self. One of Sol Tigress's big messages and why she is a sun tiger is to help produce light in dark areas. The dark areas we have within that have barriers up to ourselves. So in the stories, you will hear that it's not solely just a love tarot kind of readings. These stories are different. These stories are like the stories you would find if, say, you are a crowd of 30 and older. It's the stories that you would find on the radios when you were young that have the positive messages to them. Today's society with the devices, I feel like, have built up a lot of barriers with ourselves, within self. A lot of barriers that it's hard to keep that candle lit. It's hard to keep that candle lit and see the direction of overcoming fears. Look at that. Blessed day. A lot of Sol Tigress has to do with talking about perspective. Perspective. I feel like when you start overcoming fear and having a union with self, it can shift the perspective. Look, you have sun and you have the moon. And you have the butterfly in between, or the moth. Either way, it's transformation. Being able to see the light in the dark, being able to see the dark in the light. Oh, that's weird, huh? Well, what it could mean on that, seeing the dark and the light, is overcoming things that are superficial. Overcoming things that are pushed towards us that we thought was the light, but it's actually something different. Something different. And that's a lot of times what we forget is that we live in a society that is governed by paper currency or digital currency. And we have not been taught how to see past advertisements, how to really think for ourselves. And where I'm going with this detour is you can have a company or influencer saying that they represent the best. It is the best. It's everything that you need. And off camera, off social media, they're not as healthy as what they're depicting that they are. They're not as happy as what they're depicting they are. They're not as humble as what they're depicting that they are. And in real life, you could be almost, following a person who is exact opposite of what they try and represent. And that doesn't go just for influencer, that goes for products as well. Gimmicks. And with Sol Tigress is getting past the gimmicks, getting past thinking that you need someone else's power to be your power. What Sol Tigress represents is you finding your power and harnessing it. Bam. That's what it is. Finding the confidence. Finding the confidence. And that's what it is that we need a lot of times. The confidence to be who we want to be. Surrounded with the people that we deserve in our lives. Sol Tigress has grown from a lot of experiences in life. As I've mentioned before, I am 37. I'm 37, feeling like going on way older. In my personal career for the past 7 years, I help people on a daily basis. I do things with energy work. I work with not only just the vessel, but I'll work with people as well on a soul level. And with that being said, it's not just, say, therapy, it's letting a person be heard. One of the things that I love my clients to feel when they come to me, even if it's a person I've never met, is that they are heard. That somebody is here, not just looking at them like another paycheck, another commission, another ticket, another invoice, but as an individual person. And what I get here is concealment. What I can say is when I meet people, they have to take off their armor. And it's a trust. It's a big trust that they have with me. And when we can take off our armors with ourselves, our concealment towards ourselves, we can start honoring ourselves. We can start seeing the different perspectives. We can start having that union. We can start overcoming the fear and building our confidence. I also want to speak that concealment, I'm never probably really going to angle the camera towards my face so far. I am a private person. Definitely. It's just the way I am. If I can avoid group pictures, I do it. It's my preference. So if anyone is ever questioning why I don't always angle it towards myself, or why do I conceal myself a little bit, that's why I'm a private person, and I like that respect. Okay? Yes, you will get glimpses. Get glimpses. Everyone can have glimpses. But at the same time, not everybody has to know what you're working on. I like also concealment in a way because concealment in a way, and I want to reflect on how this person is dressed. Sometimes it's not faking it till you make it kind of thing. For me, I have coping traits, and I would say ADHD behavior is one of them. And that's where my mind will overthink a scenario 100+ different ways, whether it's good, bad, intermediate, horrible, like it's gonna be overthought. So I like with this concealment too is taking time to be patient and taking time with myself. I've noticed in those moments, in taking care of myself and even doing myself up more, it brings my attention to what I have on, or focusing more on myself than what's bothering me. And I feel like Sol Tigress would like to help people be able to get grounded in themselves, becoming a leader. Look at that, leadership. A leader in self. Because it could really feel like the mind gets away from you at times. Even the emotions. It could depend on what frequency you're on. Excuse me real quick. And with that frequency can depend on how you go about things. Now, one thing that I've learned is that everyone is a vibration of their experiences, or an expression of their experiences. Now, the work that I do with people, again, it's one that entails trust. And people who haven't came and received services such as mine before get nervous. And some people could be upset that a person's late to their appointment. But if I know a person's late and it's their first time, then I'm anticipating that they're withdrawn a little bit. They're withdrawn. You'll get people who are early who are anticipating. So a part of this journey is learning how to tune into different frequencies using that intuition. Discovering our inner beetle. Seemed like something funny to say. I love humor, I love laughing, but it's having an unknowing eye into the vibrations that are being felt. At times I can pick up vibrations of people that I'm really connected with before I even see them that day. If somebody is really harboring on emotions, if it's especially geared in a direction that I'm in, I can pick up stuff. And so Sol Tigress wants to pick up this antenna that she has and put it to use where we can influence the vibrations in a positive way. If a story that is told can have a positive effect on a person, that positive effect is going to vibrate out from that person as well. And wherever that person goes, that's where they're going to take that. And it really starts with one person at a time. And that person is always self. It is always self. This channel is also for empowerment. Empowerment. Knowing that we can let go, and this landed on the unions. We can let go of unions that weren't meant for us, contracts that weren't meant for us, bad days that we're not meant to replay over and over in our heads. And that starts with validation. I actually have been harboring on a couple of past memories where my anxieties were leading the way before I hit a thriving state. Because I was in a survivor state before that. So now that I'm in a thriving state and I'm looking back to when I was in a victim state, I can look back and see how some decisions were made, even I would say out of my control, in the control of anxieties. And if I'm human and I've made these mistakes as well, I know there's others out there who are human who have made these mistakes. And it's all about letting go. Letting go. And all of us learning together that we're here in the human experience. Trying to get through it together. It's really a team effort. It's really a team effort. How do we want to level up as a species? We have wonderful devices that could give us knowledge beyond all belief at this point. How can we use this to cast away the negative? One of the big messages in Sol Tigress that you're going to hear repeatedly through the different communities is you are what you surround yourself with. Remember, that vibration you put out is also accepting vibrations that are coming in. So casting away negativity. How is that done? How is that done? And Sol Tigress is going to be here to always encourage. Encourage somebody to grow within self, to find their strength, to know that the regrets of the past are not there to bog us down, are not there to always be wrapped around us. We're humans. We're allowed to make mistakes. I've had to learn that many a times, and I'm still learning that. Still learning that. These cards are pretty awesome. I hope everyone who tuned into this video, is enjoying the artwork. And here it is again. This one's not letting go. So Sol Tigress is an emblem of courage. Courage to go in the direction that you're meant to go in. A lot of times we get in a direction that we think we should go in, and we don't go where we're meant to be. It took a lot of work to get to the point of where I'm at right now. And it takes a lot of courage to read the intuition. I had a tarot deck that I had bought, my original one, back in 2016, 2017 time. And I had played with them. I've always felt a calling towards shuffling, playing with cards. My family used to love card games growing up. And it was having the courage of feeling my intuition, the buildup of everything. I was listening to other tarot readers and how they would do it. And it would correlate with the messages that I was bringing in with the intuition. Now, has my intuition always been strong? No. No, 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 no. Right now, it's the strongest that it's ever been. And it's taken years to even be open to it. So courage is needed, not just today, not just yesterday, but tomorrow and the day after. The day after. Because honestly, I don't know where these readings are going. And I'm sure that if you visited other readers, you can see that it's a bit different what I'm doing here. But again, the purpose of this channel is to give a story that leaves a person feeling more empowered, more at one with self, more forgiving of self. Because all of that takes tremendous courage. Especially not only when you got to cast away negativity and stuff like that, not only when you have the experience of unions that weren't great for you. One thing is that I want past experiences to be expressed here as lessons. Lessons that we learn. That we learn the truth. Our truth. My truth is not going to be the same as your truth. Because our experiences aren't the same. So it would be for your truth. Or the truth, I should say, in the story that's being told. Again, the wisdom that comes out of it. We have these assets. We have them. It's just learning to align with them again. It's learning to slow down and to be able to open up to the frequency of ourselves. Once you start learning your truth on who you are, you start to grow as an individual. And that's one thing that Sol Tigress has learned personally. I feel like one of our biggest journeys as humans is through the emotions. Is really getting through those emotions and being able to align with them. But our emotions aren't our governors. They're just a part of the community that I've mentioned before. It is what I would say, it's your soul. S-O-U-L, your soul. And it depends on what you believe in. If you believe in something different, I would say it's your heart. The heart chakra is one that is used to heal a lot of the other chakras. A lot of people, I love to cook. And I've had people ask me, how do you make this food so good? Because they'll make the same thing. And literally, it's love. It comes out of intentions. What are the intentions? If your intentions are frantic, if you're not happy, if the intentions that you set when you were doing that were not of the greatest vibration, that's what you're going to put into the food. But if you go in there with intentions of openness, the creativity that you can bring in, then it's going to be something that's brought in. Again, it's looking at the perspectives and seeing how different perspectives will play in different ways for an individual. And that's one thing I really want to bring into through stories. All right. Cut ties. So it took a lot to get here for Sol Tigress. It's amazing that this card came because it came as it came out onto Castaway Negativity or fell towards it. So I feel like what's being guided to come out is from my own personal experience. I've gotten this far and my intuition and starting this channel, and it came at a lot of extremes. And one was cutting ties. It was cutting ties with a level that was not my level anymore. Sol Tigress, you will find in the stories, will talk about different levels and leveling up. When you're stuck at a certain point in your life that you're not meant to be, I have read in books that you can start to become sick. And say at that level, there's a lot of stress there. There's a lot of stress. Stress, as we know, you can Google it, can play into increasing symptoms for various conditions that we could have, autoimmune diseases. But say you don't have any previous conditions, it can start to bring on symptoms of conditions. What this channel is also meant to do is to help people recognize in the stories is if they're at a level that is not computing. and to give courage where courage is needed, to be able to cut the ties that have them bound to those levels. I had to cut some ties. I cut a lot of ties. It hurt a lot of people. But those people were not at my level. Sol Tigress wants to build a community that is at a certain level and always leveling up. Because get to the utmost is the mission. My mission is not to work myself to death and at a job that I only go to because I get the benefits. Sol Tigress's mission is to, yes, provide for myself as best that I can, but not just in one way, in one currency way. I want to be able to provide myself the best I can, both currency, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So cutting ties with old habits, cutting ties with a career that wasn't meant for me anymore, cutting ties with individuals that are just not gonna come up to the next level with me. And you'll hear this quote. It's not my quote, but you can't take everyone to the top. You can't. Once I realized myself that I have to have my own back to the fullest, that was the game changer. That's when I would really say that I gained my magical powers. Gained my magical powers in being able to start to know myself. Being able to start to listen to my intuition. When you're not aligned with intuition and you are picking up everyone else's vibration because you are sensitive to those vibrations, it can be very difficult to navigate even self. Growing up, there was no such talk of empaths, no such talk of really oracles where I grew up, or energetic twin flames, karmic partners. There was talk of the soulmates. And so in this day and age, navigating can be very hard. And from personal experience, I know when I was getting tired of the same old, something wasn't right. Something wasn't right. Wasn't right in the relationships that I've had with people. Wasn't right in the way that I would socialize with people. Wasn't right in the way that I would socialize with myself. Oh yeah. The way you talk to yourself is socializing with self. So when I started to get away and leveling at the level I needed to be, it brought me to a place to where I could navigate a little bit better and start to take the leadership, start to listen to the intuition. And from the career that I've had and being able to pick up the vibrations from clients, to aligning with my intuition, has brought on a new mindfulness. And this is what has been asked to be shared. 6 months ago, I didn't know I would do this channel. 8 years ago, I didn't know I would be in the career that I was in. But it's all led me to follow my intuition and to this point. I know with my journey, I can say that I am more whole in myself. I'm more happy with myself. I'm not seeking to fill voids outside of self. And this is what I want Sol Tigress to represent, is a self-empowerment. Thank you so much for tuning in to this introduction video. And letting the talisman oracle, woo, look at all that, get introduced. So let's see what came out. Grounding. All right, y'all, we're gonna need some grounding. It's always good to go grounding. And oh, divine guidance. I can't make this up, y'all. I can't make this up. Y'all see me do this. It's what the journey is. It's what the journey is that I would like to share with everybody. It's grounding into the divine guidance that you have, person in the story has, I have. All right. Now remember, we're all individuals. We all have free will. Always act accordingly to your free will. All right. But just know that if someone's stuck and they want to move forward, there is always ample opportunity to do that.